Hi, I'm Rob. Welcome to another episode of Good Beer Live. As always, joined by my fellow beery cohorts. Jake, how are you doing, mate?
All good. Ready for some beer? Ready for some lager?
Lager. Should have done it last night with foot.
Oh no lagers with the football, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah, we should have been. We could have done it last night in like
tandem
with England game. And instead do like 6 packs of supermarkets like low strength shite.
Well, there's always another show.
There's always another show.
There's always another show. We'll get Harry on to be the guest on that one. Craig, how you doing, mate?
Oh, good. Yeah, not too bad. Sober. Yeah, just
sorry.
Looking forward to trying these because it's not. I don't think it'd be something I'd actually generally go out and get.
Me too.
So it's kind of like, well, I've had this before. Anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, there's so many beers out there. So this gives you an opportunity to just kind of showcase what the crafted lager scene is all about at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. So, just quickly before we kind of crack on, as always, Good Beer Live is sponsored by Honest Brew. So if you've never bought anything from Honest Brew before, get on there. If you spend over £35, you'll get £10 off and free postage if you use our discount code, which is Good Beer Live. That's all in one word. And I'm just going to have a quick look at the moment. What have they got in recently on Honest Brew? I think they've got the 2 new Verdants in there.
Yeah, load of Verdant, Northern Monk.
Yeah, It's been a bit of a... I guess it's that thing. It's like it's kind of festival season. So breweries are bringing out lots of crazy beer.
Yeah, I placed an order this week. Yeah, I got the Northern Monk, the crazy raspberry ripple ice cream pail. I haven't had it yet.
Absolutely.
Sounds pretty good. I know our good friend Dean over at Dean's Beer Reviews. He done a kind of a live unboxing from Honest Brew earlier.
Yeah. I saw that. What code did he use, Craig?
We used Good Beer Live.
Oh, there we go.
We've got the full set of the new barista range from.
I got the lager. Siren. I got the lager from that range because that intrigued me. Which is fit for this show.
Lagers. They've got some stuff from Rockmill, which is a brewery in Poland, which is a guy called Lukasz. Who, if you watch Peter Master of Hoppets footage from NBCC, Lukasz was on there. I met him last year. He's a lovely chap. Yeah, load of Verdant, a couple of lovely Wylands. Get on there, buy nothing left. There you go. There's my tip for this week. Everybody who's out there, nothing left to lose. By the Wyland. That was delightful.
If you don't hurry up, there'll be nothing left to get.
Get up there because they don't get much. I guess that's the thing about Honest Brew. The turnover stock really quickly, so I don't think they get in bags of it, but they've always got the latest and the kind of greatest stuff with all you filthy beer geeks out there.
It's like the online equivalent of an actual bottle shop where they get in a little bit of stock and you just got to get in there, get it, get out.
Exactly. So, first beer we're going to be looking at is... Who wants to introduce it?
Right. This is Augustiner Brewery. This is their lager beer Hell, or Helles. These guys are out of South Germany, Munich. And pretty damn highly regarded.
Yeah, often cited as like one of the best beers in the world. I know Matt Curtis always bangs on about this. Johnny Garrett's a big fan of this beer. Obviously, Peter, the clueless drinker, he probably says it is his favourite beer.
I think so, yeah.
I think he said it's the best beer in the world and stuff. But
yeah.
Well, that's the cap gone.
Well, I've got, because I'm a big fancy pants.
Oh, hello.
I've got me, hello. I've got my proper Spiegelau Pilsner glass out for the iconic lager. Should have the right kind of treatment.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna get a kind of a lager glass, but I thought, well, I want to get more aroma, so I just went for one of these.
Oh God. Slating your lager glass there.
I know. It's
All right, I'm listening.
fantastic.
Yeah, I don't actually own one, but it's like the one style of beer glass I don't think I actually own. I need to rectify that.
It is a complete arse to clean, though. Look how it's uber thin glass, and it's like really, really narrow. It's a complete pain in the ass. But for moments like this, you go, look at me with me fucking lager glass. So, colour-wise, it's probably an easy thing to say, but it looks like a healthy sample.
Ultra pale.
Yeah, but it's cold.
You'd be worried if that were coming out.
Yeah, no steam coming off that one.
No. Pure white foam on top. Quite a subtle carbonation for me.
Yeah,
how about you guys?
Nothing too, but yeah, clear as you'd expect.
Which I guess with the average lager, usually gassy as you like. Uber gassy, a lot of it.
That's normally the thing about people say about lager. It's, it makes you so gassy, but like good lager shouldn't be just a bomb of carbonation, really.
Yeah. Shall we check out the aroma?
Yeah. I was getting this aroma before we even got near it. It was it's quite.
It is quite pungent, grassy lemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The slight breadiness to it.
Yeah, what is that? That's kind of like, for me, is it uncooked sweet corn? Because I don't think it's DMS, which is, if you want to get the full word, what's DMS, whatever it is, which is often kind of seen as an off flavour, but present in a lot of lagers, which is kind of often cooked like sweet corn. But for me, it's not quite that. It's a little bit more kind of, I guess it's because of the green quality of the kind of grassiness and lemon and lime.
It's more of a grainy quality as opposed to like that sort of like sweet corn type thing.
Yes, grain, the sweetness of Pilsner malt, I guess.
Yeah, granary bread.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But it does actually, for a lager, it does actually have quite a lot going on. It is quite a pungent aroma.
It really does.
Yeah, I'm picking up a bit of the hop characteristic as well. It's not too kind of that. It's not masking it at all. There is a little bit coming through, which is nice.
Yeah, I get for the hops for me, it's that lemon lime and maybe a bit of
definitely lime. I wouldn't say unripened lime, but it's definitely getting like a lemon pith.
But for a lager, it does got a very pleasant, but quite a as you said, pungent aroma.
Maybe slightly white pepper or something.
Yeah, because I've never reviewed this on my channel, so this is the most in-depth of probably. Normally, when I've got one of these beers, it's in the glass and it's gone. So this is probably the most I've probably like actually sort of
think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it is actually quite pungent. It's really nice.
We're going to be thinking about lagers for like an hour at least. So, so let's dive in. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, it's lovely.
It is nice.
It's pretty humid over my way. And I feel like I've spent a day in a suit, and I've been fucking boiling and sweaty all day, and it's just like, that's what I need. Yeah,
this is it's very clean, isn't it? Clean, refreshing, crisp. It's a nice beer.
I think soapy, but I don't mean soapy.
Yeah,
it's actually got a nice body to it, hasn't it?
I guess.
Yeah,
it's got a decent body to it. It's a really tasty lager. It's not just like gone. Yeah. It lingers around on the palate.
I think it is that sort of like that more subtle carbonation, which actually adds, so it doesn't just evaporate on your tongue and it's gone. It actually does sort of like coat the mouth a little bit. It's it's really good.
Yeah, it's kind of there's a subtle white grape, maybe kind of gooseberry, flat leaf parsley, or maybe something a bit slightly sharper. I mean, it's kind of like. Maybe I guess it takes me back to eating Mexican food because you often have a lot of lager and lime in your Mexican food. So there's a sharpness of lime for me in it, but definitely kind of herbaceous note, which might be coriander, it might be flat leaf parsley. I can't decide.
It smells of sunshine.
It smells of sunshine. There we go. Put that on the label.
Oh, it's good. It really is nice.
But there is that like you say, that sort of herbal, like for me, I think it's actually like quite earthy. It's like, I don't know if it's like that sort of grassy note again, or there's just something about it. Almost, or like for me, it's almost like a like fried mushrooms and getting a little bit
Fried
of them.
mushrooms. With a squeeze of lemon.
Yeah, fancy fried mushrooms on toast, not like Weatherspoon's mushrooms.
I'm getting
sat in a vat for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
get in touch of like lemongrass, maybe just a touch.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
I get that lemongrass thing more on the aroma, I think, than the flavour, but it's there.
Yeah,
It's
the back
just
end is that kind of grassy lemon thing.
It's so quaffable, which generally for me, if drinking a lager within 10 minutes, I am belching everywhere, and it's like I probably will be with this as well. But
that's what I feel.
Because we're talking. It's because we're talking while we're doing it.
Yeah, I'm like it's
just the air we're bringing in.
Good burps live.
Yeah.
So we did some literally last minute. It was a minute before we were meant to start. We did a bit of research in my. Jake got on the internet, and I vainly tried to look at my Michael Jackson book, and we'd learnt a couple of tidbits about Hellas as a style. So Jake, I think you nailed it, mate. So
well, apparently it could all be wrong because I read the internet. But Hellas means like roughly translates to pale. So it is like a pale lager. So if you ask for that sort of style when you're in a bar in Germany, you'll get a pale lager as opposed to sort of anything with a bit more like malt character to it. And typically from the southern regions of Germany. So Munich obviously is the
Bavaria, which is the region of I mean, Peter lived there for several years. The clueless drinker, but yeah. So, where are you, man? Anyway,
he's regaling us with his knowledge of.
You can go on the comments on the the upload. Tell us where we're wrong. But to be honest, like you always see Hellas, and I always just associated it because when we first looked up, I thought it was more of a geographical thing. I didn't realize Hellas actually meant pale. So that's quite an interesting tidbit to know, sort of thing.
Yeah, I had a quick look earlier just to refresh myself. It's had a shower as well, but no, 5.2% as well. I forgot to mention that when I'd done the intro. I think so.
But it's a classic that I think holds up, isn't it? Like
it's just as lagers go, it's one of the best one of the best ones.
I think like you have this. I think if you gave this to like a hardcore lager drinker, I mean like macro lager, I think they'd actually find it quite strange. I don't think it's actually like an accessible lager. I think it's a really flavoursome, really well done traditional beer that I think that like it does. Like if you had this next to something like Budweiser or something like that, like it's almost chalk and cheese. They could be two different styles.
Yeah, the thing they wouldn't go for would be the price, of course, against all these other kind of mainstream macro lagers.
The lack of carbonation, sort of like quite a different flavour.
I just think price point would put a lot of lager drinkers off.
That's a 500
but then I can get 24 cans of this for whatever. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be.
I do like our incidental characterization. You tell me what's the word?
Characterization.
There you go.
Well, I used to be one myself. Yeah. So.
You go, hello, we're here.
We're going to watch football, innit?
I kind of German on for this.
Yeah, so it's kind of the price point would put a lot of people off.
So how much is an average bottle of this? About £3?
£3, yeah.
$2.89, something like that.
Yeah, I mean you could get it a bit cheaper, obviously, if it's near the end of its date. Not that it matters too much in a style like this. I don't think, as long as it's not like a year or two.
Yeah, I've no idea how old
after. Mine's got the best before. I assume it's best before. It's got 0818 at the front, which is just there on the.
Which is only a couple of months away.
Yeah, that's in a brown bottle as well. Yeah, that's all right. It's good. It's nice.
Yeah, it's a lovely beer.
To the Ryan Heitzgen box.
Absolutely, I would expect nothing else.
Indeed. No, it's really.
I've drunk that. Well, what I poured, which was nearly a full glass, there's that much left.
Yeah.
Which is a glowing review.
I've got that much left of a 500ml bottle, so.
Oh God, you've really got that one.
I'm really necking it.
Like a bat out of hell.
Ooh.
Oh, nicely done. Like it. So, just trying to see if there's any information. It's very lacking on information on the bottle. It's just the front label, which is really cool. But there's nothing. There's zilch on the back. So
yeah, there's some old chap.
Like some sort of cardinal. I assume Saint Augustine. Is it Saint Augustine?
Well, there you go. The lads on rare form tonight.
Something.
We'll say that. It's fact. I've said it on the internet, so it must be fact. Okay, we all know this about the internet.
Yeah, everything's true. Everything's true. But no, it's. I'd love to try this on tap at the actual brew house. They've got a brew house in München, which is supposed to be quite amazing. It goes right through into the brewery, through a load of pipes or something, and down into the restaurant. So it's just literally there.
Yeah,
so that'd be amazing to have it on that fresh.
Yeah,
be pretty awesome.
Is freshness a factor? Do you think of these beers like it is with these New England beers?
Not so much. Yeah,
or is it just like how it's kept? I suppose.
I think
that's
it's just
it. Yeah, how it's kept, how it's served. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I mean it's probably just the way we are as well. Just to think, have it fresh and all this sort of thing, and it's like probably nothing in it, but it's in your head, I guess.
Yeah. It's like a psychological thing. When you know it's fresh, you're like, yeah, we're drinking the good stuff here.
But just to drink it from the restaurant of the brew pub of it.
Yeah,
it's just cool, isn't it? Out of a proper glass.
Because we're like, this is like, it is quite a well-regarded beer in a lot of circles. But Rob, you were saying you were speaking to a German guy who didn't think too highly of it.
Yeah, well, he's from the thing. He's from the kind of Black Forest region of Germany, and he's Rotus is a kind of like local brewery which he absolutely loves. But I think it seems like a real fierce kind of regionality to kind of lager drinkers in Germany. And he was like, I wouldn't touch that fucking piss from Munich. So he's quite strong. Because I was like, oh well, in this shop he don't in my local bottle shop he don't have much, but he has this. He has the Eldersoff. He has that, and he has Jever. And Dan was like, no, I'm not fucking touching that rubbish. Just because it's like, that's not not made where I'm from. No, I don't want it. Rubbish.
It's like me going, I drink Green King and nothing else. It's just Green King. Nothing else.
Yeah, and then
how depressing that
you could say that about not so much regions, but actual kind of like, say, camera members against hazy beer. Do you know what I mean? That kind of what's wrong with that? It's like nothing. It's supposed to look like that. I want clear beer and all this sort of thing. It's like
irrational beer prejudice.
Yeah, without actually anything to do with the taste of the beer.
Yeah. Cool.
Tasting's irrelevant to a lot of people. It's what it looks like.
Before we move on to the next one, we've got a question from Lee Codes, and he's asked Rob. He says, Rob, I have a question for you. Do you buy the beers you review on your channel, or are you sent them? These ones that we review on this this broadcast are sent free, and that's what. And we're quite open about that. That's what Honest Brew sponsor this, so they do send all three of us the free beers that we drink on this show. But
don't we? So it's not like a. No. They send them to us, so we have a say in it, but they are given to us completely.
Yeah, but I mean everything else. Pretty much, I'd say pretty much like 99.5% of beers I review on my channel like daily. That I do buy them. So
same here. I get the odd thing sent to me now and again by a brewery or.
Yeah, every now and again, but I only tend to do the ones I'm interested in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, isn't it? It's, sometimes you get it, which is nice. Like this is like it's really quite lucky, fortunate. But yeah, mostly I just when I've got the money, which isn't that often, but I hope that'll change. But I'm gonna buy a few different pieces that I really want to try for myself, and then just review it and put it out there.
I've sort of been it's not happened often, but I've been approached by a brewery beforehand who said they're going to send me beers, and I said, okay, but I'm just going to do you my normal thing, and then I never actually got them. There wasn't a correspondence back or anything. It was quite a big brewery as well, but I'll tell you.
But no, I mean I've had a few breweries I've quite a few start-up breweries that say, oh, we're going to send you some stuff like that. Yeah, okay, just let us know.
Yeah, well, no, the startup, like the sort of the littler brewery. Well, I say little, but like smaller breweries will just send you stuff just because they want to know. Like they don't even care if you review it. They just want to sort of know about it.
Yeah. I mean, I've had that a few times. Like, oh, what's your address? And I've heard nothing back. So it's like happens quite regularly, but. I don't expect anyone to send me anything, though, if you know what I mean. I do.
Just
don't.
I'm entitled to free beer, but I'm sure the same with you too. I mean, whenever I do get sent something, I mention it.
Yeah.
Because I think for sake of kind of like clarity. I mean, what's the
transparency?
Transparency. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I I've not slept well for the last 3 days, so bear with me.
I mean, I've got a handful of friends that give me some beers to review and stuff, and it's like I always mention them in the review and in below and all that sort of thing. You just do.
It's the least you can do, isn't it? Really.
Oh yeah, you don't. It's just.
And also the least you can do is be honest as well. Yeah. I think, isn't it?
Oh yeah, always.
There's no point. I always try to find the good in every beer. Sometimes it's a struggle.
To be positive.
To be not just like shit and throw it, but
but it's just.
But still, to be honest, I think is the sort of least you can do, isn't it? Really.
Exactly.
I mean, most of the time it's not there's something wrong with the beer. It's just your taste for that beer.
Oh yeah, a lot of time it's And
I always. What I do remember, I always try and state that because, what do you think that's rubbish? Well, it's like, well, if you say that in the review, then we still get some people say, oh, it's brilliant. Oh.
Well, there you go. So there you go, Lee. That's the in a nutshell. That's the beer bloggers.
That's our thoughts on it, anyway.
That's what our experience is.
Some other beer tubers might not have the same thoughts.
They have different experiences to our own. No names. So Craig, Jake, do you want to introduce the next one?
Yeah, so this is a beer from Cloudwater. It is their Hellas Manderina, 4.8%. Hellas beer. And purely in the aroma hops, it is their Mandarina Bavaria. The malts are, is it Barker? Barker Pills, Caramel Hell, and Vienna. And then obviously the bitter and hops are their Pilgrim CO2 Alpha extract.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very good.
I think they've released this a couple of times. I mean, one of the things Cloudwater try and do is, I think they try and keep a lager of some description, like in rotation.
Yeah.
So I know they've got really good facilities for it. They've got like a full-on, they can drop temperatures in the kind of fermentation control kind of like system to really quite low temperatures, so they can, even though it's same fermentation vessels that you'll use for an IPA, they've got that level of control that they can do very well produced lagers.
Yeah, that's a lot of the things like breweries who don't normally produce lager. That's the sort of obstacles they face, isn't it? It's whereas if Cloudwater have those facilities in place, they can knock out a few of these every now and again.
Yeah.
But no, I think they've done 2 different designed cans for this same beer, I believe.
I don't think
this is a re-release. Yeah, I think this is a again.
Probably just had a lot of the hop.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. It might be a different store.
I think that might be a little deceitful if they were like, let's put another label on it.
No, not over it, but the actual design on different batches is
they've done a.
Different.
That's when Paul was over. I remember it was on draft in at the barrel store when we went. So I think Peter drank some when we went to the barrel room in Manchester. So beer in the glass.
I just had to go for the hoppy beers when I was there. God.
Of course. Well, why wouldn't you? Why would you buy some fucking lager?
Yeah.
Cloudwater. What idiot would do that?
Drink Cloudwater lager. Come on.
All the way to Manchester.
But just no
I'll have a
Rob's glass again. Rob's gone for the Cloudwater glass.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
If you've got one. If you've got it, flaunt it.
I've got my mind smashed.
With your ass.
Yeah.
That's a very in-joke. If anybody could be asked, finding a really well-hidden channel on YouTube, you can understand what that joke is.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy.
That's a joke that about 12 people understand.
Yeah, I'm very happy that it's hidden.
What, Peter's ass?
Well, that wasn't.
It wasn't. It wasn't continuously. Even peeking out.
But anyway, moving on.
I'd say a little bit darker than the last one.
Yeah, shade darker, definitely.
And a lot more carbonation, and the bubbles.
Yeah.
This is very much it's like Real Ale Guide. Is the bubbles are very small. In the other one, the bubbles are quite big. But an old brewer once told me the finer the bubble, the better the beer.
Huh. Oh, there we go.
This is the Augustiner. This one.
Oh right, okay.
I suppose it is quite an sort of an average comparison, really, because it's a traditional sort of Hales versus a modern brewery's take on a Hales, really. So it's quite interesting to do it side by side. But should we go for an aroma on this? It's not as pungent already, but I haven't got it close to the old schnoz yet.
Did you read out the malts, by the way? I was just curious.
Yeah.
That one. I was like, oh, okay, I've not heard that before.
I haven't come across that one, but
there's kind of like there's a whisper of what you get in Absolute Spades in the other one.
Yeah,
there's a bit of it, maybe
a bit more subdued.
Very subdued,
and a little bit more kind of zesty orange in there.
I'm getting like a weird sweetness to it that I can't quite.
I'm just getting a subtle orange. It's not in your face citrus orange. It's just like a dried orange. But
it could be something like that. But there's definite sweetness.
Now you mention that sweetness, I'm thinking it's reminiscent of Lucasade.
There's something like I can't quite describe it.
I wouldn't say it's even that strong.
No, it is vague.
Or like Barocca. Just came to.
Yeah.
It's like this effervescent like orange thing.
Yeah,
it doesn't smell bad in the slightest.
No, it's just very pleasant.
It's nice. It's got more of a.
I wouldn't say as complex as the Augustiner, but
no, I'm getting more of that kind of.
But still, the lemon factor for me is coming through, but not necessarily. I'm not getting those earthy, grassy notes particularly.
I'm getting more of a slight edge of caramel notes, which is, I guess, come from the caramel malts. Potentially, probably explains a little darker on the colour, maybe. I don't know.
Shall we dive in?
Yeah,
let's go for it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
God, it's got a nice after kick of orange.
Yeah.
Oh, for me, it's you sip it and then it's gone.
It's not lingering it's not lingering compared to the first beer. Although it's still very pleasant when you drink it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's very pleasant. I mean, it's got maybe slightly apricot tart. I mean, for me, it's got kind of like a sweet and kind of like short crust pastry thing going on in it.
Yeah,
I'm getting a slight bit of like orange jam, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not as sharp as and powerful as like marmalade. It's just like that's why I was thinking kind of slightly apricot-y. I mean,
it's very nice, but I just want it to last a little bit longer.
Yeah,
it's a very middle of the road beer for me. It's not grabbing me.
No. it's very pleasant. I mean, I could drink it no bother.
Yeah,
but it's not like
it's not first choice if we can afford kind of thing.
Grab him by the short on Curly's or anything.
Or if you go to the barrel store, it's not going to be the first one you try.
But an absolute crusher.
Oh yeah,
it has its time and its place, doesn't it?
I'd rather drink this than a regular beer or lager, for sure. But you wouldn't be able to afford to if it's really hot. You want 3 or 4 cans. It's like, no.
It's well made. You can't
yeah. That's one of those things. It's completely well made. It tastes great. It's just very boring.
It tastes great. It's very boring.
Well, it is. It's like you can't like deride it in any way. There's no off flavors. No. It's perfectly acceptable, but it's just a tad like, well, yeah.
I think it's down to what you probably generally drink, like pale ales, IPAs, double IPA. I mean, especially double IPAs. It's just like, and they are just bold. They're like this and that, and this is very basic, very nice. It's great for the weather.
To the Augustiner though. Like I'm almost tempted to pour like another little bit of that.
Yeah,
a bit of solid because I think it's almost chalk and cheese, really.
You can do a blend.
Well, that's why. That's why I picked these 2 specific beers, because this is the iconic. I mean, people can absolutely love the Augustiner, and this is essentially it is a Helles, but with a modern German hop, which is often kind of cited of having slightly more certain kind of characteristics that you might find in some American beers. So that's why I wanted that. So it was a nice progression. It's like the kind of the template, the kind of the blueprint for it all. Yeah. And where do you go from there in kind of modern kind of understandings of it?
Mm-hmm. I would say for because even though like Cloudwater, they've used a more modern hop, I still think they've gone for a traditional style, and I think the Augustiner sort of does win in that sort of thing.
For
me anyway,
it's a better beer, but I do like this, and I'd still rather drink this than if it was just lagers I was drinking. I'd still rather drink this.
Yeah.
Than any of the lagers you get in the supermarket, say.
Oh yeah,
this is far superior. But it doesn't. It's a bit of a way away from the lager beer hell for me.
One thing I've kind of heard over the years is, and I think this is probably one of the reasons why Cloudwater are making it, is that brewers drink lager.
Yeah.
People brew lovely. Highly hopped, flavoursome beer. I'm fucking sick of it. And all I want is something low ABV and crushable and thirst quenching and quite subtle. I know at NBCC they're all searching out a nice lager. There's not usually many of them, but it's like I can't drink out while I'm serving beer.
Say that about because Michelin star chefs, when they finish their shift, most of the time they go down the chippy or the kebab shop or the Chinese and get food. They're not cooking themselves Michelin star food at home.
No. My brother's a chef, and he like lives on. Well, he eats a little bit better now, but he used to always live on like bees on toast, and that were it.
Yeah,
man, crazy, isn't it?
Christmas dinner, like cooking lobster for my parents, and then day before eating beans on toast. Yeah, I guess it's
beans on toast and a lager.
It's the dream.
But no, I mean, if you're sitting there digging out a mash tun in the height of summer,
is that what you do then? If you work at an amazing brew pub, which has got like a incredible food offering, is that all you? If you are the brewer chef, do you just drink shit lager and eat beans on toast?
Yeah.
God, indeed. Gas. Imagine the gas if that's what you had.
Yeah.
You would not have a partner either, because that was going to be a bit of you drinking.
We just
beans on toast.
Blow her out of it. That's it. But no, it's just I would think, I mean, Harry drinks a lot of lagers, and he's a brewer, so. Maybe there's something in it.
But Harry's Harry. I think if Harry wasn't a brewer, he'd be drinking that shit.
I think I know he's gone away recently, but I'm sure he will want to go in the mash tun and drink a craft beer when he gets back. I reckon.
Yes.
But I mean, even Hop City, they had Augustiner on.
Yes.
And a few other lagers. So I don't know if that was just to appease all the brewers that were down for the
I think there was
festival.
But
it was.
But I mean, that kind of goes to show, the amazing beers that were there. But then there was a lager that was they've obviously asked around for what lagers do you want? Get that.
Well, I mean, I think that might be quite a neat little link. What you just made there. As it happened, the third and final beer that we're going to look at was debuted at Hop City, and is when I saw this on the beer list, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I remember before.
And it is Megahertz from North Brewing in Leeds, fantastic local brewery to me.
Nice.
And it is a double dry hopped Imperial Kolsch. And when I see kind of things like that, I just think, "Oh, what the fuck."
Yeah.
What the hell is?
I'm very intrigued. Double dry hopped.
But then, because they do their kind of standard Kolsch is called Herzog, so therefore you got Megahertz, and it was a guy called Russ Clark who at the time was working for I think he was working for Beerhog, and he kind of challenged him essentially to make a stronger version. I think he actually gave him the name. So for Russ, if you ever see it, and Russ is now. Oh, hang on, look who we've got. We've got a surprise appearance, an interloper who's just joining us a minute. And Russ actually, I think, named it as well. I had a chat to him at Hop City, and he was really excited to be trying this. But he now works in a certain role at North Brewing. So there you go. We've been joined better late than never by we'll see what kind of state Peter's in.
Is he wearing a cravat? Is that a cravat you're wearing?
It's a Bavarian bandana that I bought for £3.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, wow. That's fair enough.
So I thought, because it was a grand, being invited to the show, I was going to make a big grand effort to it.
You're late,
and it's just... Thank you, Northern. Right. Thank you very much.
You're a little bit early, but yeah.
Yeah, so I've already got into the Augustianer, but apologies about that, guys.
It's all right. Shall we do? I think we should do Megahertz, and then I think we'll come back to Augustiner. I've still got to, because I think there'll be probably a good reason for that.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you've drank it yet, but I do have.
Ooh, he's got one.
I do have. Smashing. And I got lots of swag. So I do have the Cloudwater.
Oh, cool. Oh, well, right. If you've got that open, you can regale us with your.
Well, I had to buy a growler.
Jesus.
So you've got a growler.
I've got a growler.
Is that a litre growler? What is that?
That is a 2-litre growler.
Jeez.
And I don't know if
you better like it then.
Yeah. Because
in can, it was absolutely gorgeous. But I will say, at Cloudwater, I only paid £35, and that was for a T-shirt, a glass, and then a growler with the beer.
That's not bad.
So I'm like, yeah, and now I have a growler. So.
And he's going to drink it all before this broadcast ends.
Probably.
So
we finish in 15 minutes.
So what have you got in your glass at the moment, Peter?
Well, I took it into the Augustiner.
Cool.
Right, cool.
And I've mentioned this beer countless times on my channel, and whenever the subject comes up, but without retreading for the people who are watching. To me, this is just as simple and as well executed as a lager gets. No bells and whistles. But just a beautiful, crushable, solid beer.
Cool.
We'll get your full thoughts on it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll do Megahertz, and that will allow Peter to track through that, and then Peter will have the grand opening of his growler. and give you a
We-
afterwards. So this is 8%, strongest beer by quite a margin. The last one was 4.8, and what was the Augustiner? 5.2.
5.2.
Yeah, 5.2.
So I didn't have this at HopZine.
No, I did. I didn't have it out of principle, but then I heard it was very, very good, and then I sort of regretted it. But so I'm so glad we got to try it in the cans, because cans came out a little bit after HopZine, didn't they? Did they do a rebrew of this? Yeah.
I assume so.
Yeah. But I mean, a double dry hopped Kolsch is as craft as you can get, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's craft.
I think that's what I kind of railed against. So we were like, what the fuck is that? Why is that on at this festival?
I think the traditionalists of this style potentially may get the ump over that.
Well, Kolsch is a bit of a funny style because it's a bit of a hybrid between lager and ale, isn't it? Like we in our minute research before. We found out. So it is top fermenting, but brewed at lager temperatures is essentially what it is. So that's the definition of a Kolsch.
And supposedly only made in Cologne.
Yeah,
which is it's kind of there's a bunch of German styles that are supposedly it's only authentic if it's from a specific city or region.
So it could have a perfuming edge then. Huh.
I'm trying not to smell it because it's absolutely raging.
I mean, it's slightly hazier than what we've had previously, but along the same lines in terms of shade.
Slightly more brassy kind of like colour to it.
Yeah, there's a kind of a few particulates just floating around and all that sort of jazz.
So maybe a slight, but still a lagery looking beer.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Perhaps that's the dryness. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
It looks really good though in the glass. It really does.
Let's go for an aroma because it's jumping out.
Days.
Gee, that's not a lager smelling beer, is it?
No, it's really not.
that's like double IPA.
Wow, this is my kind of Grolsch.
Your kind of Grolsch.
Kolsch.
It doesn't say what hops are in it, but that smells for me like a pack of Refresher sweets.
Just says the malt.
There's kind of like there's a real effervescence to it. For me, I'm getting definitely elderflower and melon, and it's kind of sweet but floral. I guess that's the thing.
You're getting floral,
it's almost like a spicy, peppery thing going on with it.
A slight flowery thing, but it smells. There's also a little bit of a slight prickly edge, like a dryness. So I don't know if potentially it's
it could just be the amount of hops in it.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I do get a mild phenolic, kind of alcoholic.
It does smell. It is stinging the nostrils.
It stings the nostrils.
Getting like a slight fruit pastel as well.
Yeah,
pastely kind of dust.
That smells good though.
Good.
Smells nice.
Nothing like a lager, but let's go for a taste.
Cheers. Well, I guess that's the point. It's like how far can you take be removed from that? I mean, that is as iconic as you get, and this is as potentially ridiculous as you can get, but still potentially a lager.
Let's go for
definitely hoppy. So, cheers. Oh wow. Cool. Yeah, it is a little bit boozy.
Yes.
You said that fruit pastel thing about the aroma. I'm getting that on the taste as well. Feels like I'm cramming like 2 fruit pastels in my mouth.
See, I'm going a bit more wine gums.
Oh, you're right, yeah. But yeah, maybe not as sugary.
It's definitely. I mean, there's clearly a lot of Pilsner malt in it. I mean, that's and that, I mean, when I've had kind of Imperial Pilsners, which I find is a bit of a ridiculous, redundant style that breweries like Brewdog kind of originated. And I do get a bit of that, which is kind of like quite an excessive amount of kind of sweet malt flavour, but not getting kind of sugary. It's just like there's a heft of malt character to it.
it's quite a strong taste. It's very strong. It's quite powerful. I mean, even like you get these double IPAs, it's kind of really bold, really bold.
Yeah.
Compared to double IPAs, it's like wow, that's.
I am getting that slight savoury edge, that garlic and onions thing from it. To me, it does smack more of a double IPA.
Yeah, it's a funny one. There's a mouthfeel. It's a mouthfeel quality to it, which is a little bit kind of. And it's a bit kind of gluey. It's a little bit. Yeah. I don't know.
It's quite thick. It's quite thick.
A little bit sticky then.
Kinda. It's just there's a bit of.
There's something else. Just a bit more than what.
I don't know if it's like a drying thing or.
It's quite full and rounded in a lot of ways.
It's a definite. I'd say it's definitely a full mouthful, and don't get that too often with beers these days. Even the high ABV ones. It's not often you get it, especially in this kind of paler beer style. No, it's Kolsch, but
I'd be quite interested, and I don't mean to be derogatory, which this will sound derogatory. So if anybody who's Seb or Christian, or John, if you're watching this from North Brewing, I don't mean this in a bad way, but I'd be interested to have like a can of like Kestrel Super or like Special Brew or something like that.
Wow!
Because when you have those beers, they've got a real kind of like they've got a heft to them, and they've got a big, strong, sweet character, which is it kind of heads towards Belgian in a lot of ways. And I think there's a little bit of what makes a nugget of what, if you crystallized what makes a strong lager. I think there is a lot of what's in that, because this is essentially an 8% lager.
But it's not sickly sweet like all that syrupy kind of thing. It hasn't really got that like a malt liquor or if you're in the States, which they done the other day, which was quite funny. And I don't think it's like that, but
it's strange.
I've had the Bavaria. I've had the Bavaria 10% thing, and it's not even as sweet. I mean, that was quite sweet, but it's not as sweet as that kind of level of sweetness in these kind of big lagers, if you know what I mean. But
I do get that phenolic alcohol thing, but like initially for me it's double IPA up front, and then like you say, it changes to that hefty lager like you would get in like a special brew or something like that. But not in a bad way. Like I'm actually enjoying it.
See, I don't mind dramp brew. They're not bad beers. I mean, if you got a kind of special brew, it's not actually that bad.
Yeah.
I did a video and I've still got it knocking around where I drink them all, and essentially what I come up with is I'm like, I kind of go, no, because it's really boring. Because I drink them all, I go, oh, it's not that bad.
I did that. I did that a blind taste test of 6 macro lagers, and with my brother-in-law, and it's a really boring video. We were supposed to be we did a blind taste test of each one, and then it just ended up being like ridiculously boring. It's like there's no we were just like, well, that's Budweiser. That was it. So it's like I didn't post it.
I'm getting that garlicky, oniony edge though that you mentioned earlier for sure. It's got that aftertaste thing.
Initially, for me, it is double a double IPA up front, like a New England style sort of on the danker.
But not as much that tropical. Not as much. Sorry. Not as much as that tropical fruit kind of note as you'd get in a double.
No, it's the savoury edge.
It's got a savoury edge. It's got there is that kind of citrusiness. Yeah, indeed.
I'm getting a bit of sauerkraut.
Emmentaler cheese.
Indeed. But it's
I
nice.
get a bit of
other German stuff.
I get a bit of Borussia Dortmund. Bit of
Again,
Bussy Mönchengladbach as well.
got a little bit of Jurgen
for
Klopp.
the same joke at the same time. I couldn't even finish
Yeah,
That's the only German team worth saying, isn't it?
I oddly found myself in Manchester whilst I think City were playing Borussia Mönchengladbach, and the streets were like cordoned off because they were like fucking army of German supporters with flags and flares going off and stuff on Piccadilly. You mean the road that like if you Port Street, we'd been in Cosmonaut, which is near Port Street. We were trying to get to the train station. It was just fucking wall of police.
yeah.
And fucking chucking things up in the air. And it was mental.
Yeah.
So that's my Borussia Mönchengladbach. But there was some nice supporters in the very bar about Germans in Manchester.
They're okay. Kind of pleasant.
Yeah. But now this is.
Don't mention the war.
I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it.
That's what I was going for, and Craig knocked out the park.
Yeah, but this is. I wasn't sure what to expect with it because I've not had that. I'll be honest with you, I've not had that many cultures, to be honest with you. So
normal cultures don't taste like this.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But
I can't imagine you would.
It's, I mean, a double dry, you know.
I have had quite a good Kolsch recently, which was, well, I say good. It was an adequate Kolsch recently, which Adnams brewed a beer with like 6 other breweries. It was like I think it was New Belgium. And,
oh wow! Oh right.
I can't remember the breweries involved because it's one in all different countries. There's like a brewery from Brazil and a brewery from
like a continental kind of collaboration.
Continental Kolsch collaboration.
Yeah, and each brewery released
Continental.
Yeah, Kolsch.
That's why
each brewery released it in their country in not their format. So I think like Adnams released it in a can, New Belgium released it in a bottle, and so it looked quite cool. But it was, I mean, when I actually drank it, it was.
It's a Kolsch.
Yeah,
it's like
it's the original.
This is nice.
Is the original single version of this still available? Is that limited edition as well?
It's part of core range.
Right. So I need to try.
I think I have had it at some point.
Yeah, I've always wanted to try Herzog.
Yeah, it's solid. It's solid. Kolsch.
I may have had it. I can't remember, but you know, it's like. But,
that was it. We probably had it on when we were at the brewery. About a couple
I was going to say it was at the brewery at Hop City. I can tell what I've had by the photographs, and I can't remember nothing.
No.
But it's a great little
place.
Hazy. Breweries.
Top juice that day, really.
Yeah, breweries great little place. They had this massive,
it was really good thing. And they had all Nintendo 64s and a Sega Mega Drive set up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
really, really cool.
It's well worth it.
I can't remember walking there. I wouldn't know if I went to Leeds tomorrow.
We got a taxi. Yeah.
That's probably why
I remember walking.
Can't even remember.
I've got a video of us all in the taxi.
Have you?
That's on you. Hi, Joe.
That's like what was that secret camera show from a few years ago? Where it's like in the back of a taxi, not the Bang Bus, but
that's another thing.
Funny say Bang Bus because it did sort of turn into that. Halfway there.
We were in the taxi.
Halfway there, we gave Stu a load of money and he stripped. So.
the mild bump bus.
Not Trigger Happy TV, is it?
No, it's like something like Taxi Confidential or something like that. It was an American.
It was, yeah. Well, I think Uber are releasing a series like that on Channel 4.
Oh God,
aren't they? Which they paid for, and funny enough, they just have the England squad get into their cars. I don't think they just did that on the street. I think that's a bit
on the street.
A bit of money changing.
Footballs in taxis. That could go wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be want to be filmed.
No, they wouldn't want to be filmed.
No.
Prostitutes, cocaine, not casting aspersions, but
yeah. Anyway, this beer is pretty good.
I'm a big fan of what North are doing. I think they're going from strength to strength as well.
Right.
Picked up their most recent IPA collab with Partisan. I picked that up yesterday.
I was impressed with their blood orange IPA thing. I can't remember what it's called now. When we
Curious
had it
Orange.
Yeah, that was staggering.
And their Pinata is an awesome beer. Is that core range? That's core range, isn't it? And, yeah,
Yep.
Which is a crazy beer to have in your core range. It's really good.
Yeah, that was lovely.
It's really
well worth a visit.
But
This is insane, but brilliant. I would say.
For me, more I drink of it, more I enjoy it. But I thought the aroma was wonderful. Maybe the flavour doesn't really quite follow up on what we were I was expecting. Maybe it was after having two kind of very quite authentic lagers. Thinking, all right, we're just gonna have a fucking IPA now, aren't we?
This is very.
That's all I was gonna get, but
I think we've done it the right way round.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But this is, it's quite adventurous as well. It's quite nice. It's out of the box, but it's great to try these things. Step out from what you're kind of used to and give them a try. But I still like it though. Yeah,
all my kind of like derision of it being a double dry hopped Imperial Kolsch, which is still ridiculous.
Yeah,
I still can't. Actually, I can't even bring myself to. It's nice, but I think the concept is ridiculous still.
Yeah,
I was actually going to say
a little bit of obscenity.
I'm wrong, but I don't know. I just couldn't. Obscenity, yeah, there is a little bit of obscenity too. That's well put, Peter. But
parental guidance needed.
Yeah.
So, as Peter joins us a little bit late, shall we pour a little bit of Augustiner?
Yeah. Should we go through the comments?
Yeah, I was going to think
that makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah.
Five more, and then.
I'll go through them, shall I?
Okay.
So Stu 1974 says the Three Amigos now with D'Artagnan.
That's
joined us.
that's Steve Wells. He's been a commenter and a supporter of BeerTube for a long time.
Oh, thank you very much for watching along.
Cool beans.
Let us know what you're drinking.
Indeed, anyone if it's not too
Cheshire
early.
Homebrew says, "Hi there, fellas. Good to see you reviewing a beer on a Friday." Well, there we go.
Yeah,
this is what we do on Friday nights. And here we go. We've got Joe from the Beer Patrol.
Indeed.
Nice to see Peter on this one. Cheers, fellas. Oh,
yeah.
What? Peter.
It took us getting Peter on for Joe to tune in.
Exactly.
Eventually.
And then
I think he's got alerts set up if Peter's online.
Yeah,
every time Peter's on, it's
got some kind of like code, like tracking Peter's online maneuvers.
Yeah.
And regarding the taxi secret camera show, Taxi Cab Confessions, Joe says.
There we go. That's one.
It was on HBO. And that's the comment.
Oh no, we just have one more. But Taxi Cab Conventions, wasn't that the Jamie Gillis kind of
that was On the Prowl.
On the Prowl.
which was the first ever Gonzo style film.
Yes. So we just had a comment from Toppy Helson, which is Brewdog Fanzines. Thoughts? Well, I've not had them, but I know you three have.
This is my thoughts.
I've only I've only had
Alan Partridge Drug.
I've only had the second box of what are they up to now? 3 or 4? I don't know.
Yeah, I stopped for a couple of weeks. I did like that 2-week break, and I thought I'll give it another go.
Yeah,
so I've had the most recent one, and they had that English IPA thing.
Yeah, I've heard.
And it was just crap. It was just really like effortless, like. It felt like no thought had gone into it. It was just tasteless and bland, and it really reminded me of a Green King IPA.
Really?
Like seriously, like it was like it's like normally like I say, I always try and be a slightly positive about beers, but there was just no redeeming features of it. It was just boring and bland and just really crap. To be part of I'd say like a premium club where you pay your money for 6 beers a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 22 quid.
Yeah. Which I don't think it's a bad price, but for that, you expect more than a shitty supermarket beer that I could get.
And I think
we had a Heller's. I had a Heller's beer, which was the pick of the second box. I think I can't remember. We had that. That was the best.
I think
of the second box, and the other two were like West Coast IPA or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And
like...
East Coast IPA, which is that. And
King of H,
Yeah, I don't think I've had that yet. I think I've stopped the subscription now. So
yeah, I stopped after that.
I stopped at the second box.
Well, I stopped at the I missed the first one and got the second one and stopped.
I thought this was going to be a big redeeming feature for me for Brewdog, because I have thought they've got a bit lackluster in their releases and all that sort of thing. I thought this would be great. They can be really experimental, but it's just actually just bland crap.
Rarely safe beers, and the fact that they release the beers in the bars at the same time, it's sort of like
not exclusive, then, is it?
No, and haven't they now released like one of them as like a new beer?
Yeah.
Haven't they released like?
I think they're supposed to be like. Yeah, I think they're supposed to be like you vote for each.
Well, that's what they used to do with their prototype range. They used to release 4 beers at a time, and the one that got the most votes would be a new beer.
Yeah, I saw they've got. I saw on Instagram earlier. There's the prototype double IPA at the moment in a bottle from Brewdog. So I don't know what that's going to go with that.
Yeah, it just I just can't justify paying that for free beers. And the ironic thing is, the best one that I had from them was the style that they always seem to, well, in the early days, like go against, which was the lager. They actually rarely do good lagers. They've always done really solidly brewed lagers, from what I can remember. I mean, this is lager, fantastic. It's got that authentic sort of German style. I think it's in the Dortmunder style, and they do it really well. But then, like, we're against all this sort of stuff, but you make those beers well, so don't fight it. And that was probably the best out of the 6 beers from the 3 boxes.
Really?
From the 2 boxes that I had was the lager, because it was just...
really? Because I missed the first box. And
I quite like the sour, but it was just what it was. It was a kettle sour.
Yeah.
Uninspiring, but like tasty. But
I mean, if you're in a Brewdog bar, I mean, surely if you get these 3 beers, have a third, it work out cheaper than buying the 3 cans?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When you're all saying they're making good lagers, I mean, the Brewdog have got a state-of-the-art brewery. They've got some very talented, experienced brewers.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they should be making very nice lagers. There's no reason why not. So I guess that's it. I mean, I think given a fair shake, I think the people who work at the brewery will nail everything every time. I think it's maybe something falls down somewhere along the line. It's to do with other people, I'd say, involved in the process. I don't think it's down to those people who were on the floor in their white puriform wellies and they're holding their kind of industrial hoses. I mean, it's not those people, I'd say. I think it exists somewhere else. Just as you were talking about fanzine, so the Toppy, who kind of mentioned the question, has just replied saying 10-ton truck espresso and Pulp Patriot with decent or even nice, waiting for number 4. So
hashtag, 4th box. Well, So, but no.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things that, like, they're all perfectly brewed beers except that English IPA wank that they did. But
it was wank.
Yeah,
a load of wank.
It was a load of wank.
Brewdog, what a load of wank.
but they should. For me, I think this is their chance to do something that grabs the beer geek again, because I think that's what they've lost. They don't need to get the masses, because I think they actually have the masses in Weatherspoons and all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
is to grab, and I think they've sort of at the moment they've sort of botched it a little bit.
Yeah.
But then again, like, I always think these sort of things aren't for us, though.
No.
No. They're great if you're new to craft beer. They're going to be like, "Wow, what's that?" And, and they're going to drag people in. But people have been drinking craft beer for 5-10 years or so, and then they go try that. Then that's the market. That's where they're at, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So shall we? I'm sure we'll get back onto that later, because after this, one of the 4 of us will no doubt host a online kind of hangout, which will We'll
Just
address
turned into madness.
the.
Yeah, we'll address the
We'll
brew.
talk about, okay, we're going to talk about we'll talk about Beavertown, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah,
really
so it'll be live, so someone will.
so we'll be doing that. But shall we have a little? Shall we just pop back to the Augustiner for a little bit?
Yeah. I think we have to because Peter's here.
I mean, I would do, but I did absolutely demolish. Yeah, it's just I could just drink. It's like it's more drinkable than water.
Right.
I think they need to replace
onto the Cloudwater then.
like there with Peter.
Still give my thoughts, opinion.
Have you drunk the Cloudwater as well? Have you the 2 litres?
No,
Peter, I said the bloke on the bottle was St. Augustine. Was I right?
It could well be.
He doesn't know.
I wish I knew the history properly.
If you say something with enough conviction, people will believe it is true. So you go, yes, absolutely, yes, of course. St. Augustus is the patron saint of glassblowers, and he was born in 1947 and died 17 years later.
His miracle was he shut out Pilsner malt.
Yes, exactly.
He aged way too quickly.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Say it with confidence.
He died young. He died at age 16.
But Peter, did you know Hellas means pale?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that bit. That's the very.
We learned that tonight. We learned and shared.
Education.
Peter has affirmed it.
Yeah. But
I started reading my Michael Jackson book, but it was it were a bit long, so Jake just looked at a short passage on the internet.
That's when on Wikipedia.
Easier, yeah. That's how people are these days. You just want a little content there.
A degree or anything.
You don't fucking read a book, do you? You won't read a book about it.
I just had a look on.
That's some idiot on YouTube telling you.
Well, let's hear Peter's thoughts on the best beer in the world.
Well, as you've just correctly said, that is, for me anyway, the best beer in the world. Just because it's so satisfying, simple. There's no, they don't... I mean, the recipe could have changed over the years, just with the quality of ingredients and the quality of, the techniques in growing the malts and the hops. And, so beer will always evolve dependent on that sort of stuff. But I can't imagine that tasting too different to what it was like when it was first brewed. Because it's got that purity about it. It's crisp, it's clean, it's light. I mean, I've had it on tap from the Augustianer sort of restaurant that's connected to the brewery.
Talked about that during the actual thing. That I'd love to try it.
Which for I think it was $3.50 for a glass, a 500ml glass. It's just it does taste different than the bottle, because the bottle could have been on the shelf for about a few months to up to a year. But with the style, it's not going to ruin too much unless it's badly kept. And I think that really does shine with this beer. Is even if it's an older can, even if it's an older bottle, you're still going to get that satisfying.
We did talk about the
experience.
Does that actually affect a lager as much as something like an IPA? Is it about how it's kept as opposed to the actual freshness of it?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, the bottle I've got isn't exactly old. It's got the 9th 2018.
Oh, you're a month better than us. We're the 8th.
Oh, Honest Brew.
We've got a bit more. We've got a better age on ours. So.
Yeah,
exactly. This is a better vintage.
Yes,
it's matured perfectly.
Yes,
sweet spot.
Masterfully matured for that.
But what
authentic taste.
What I picked up from it, because like I said, I've never reviewed this beer. I've drunk a lot of it, but it tends to be I drink it, boom, it's gone.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the first time I've actually picked it apart, and it's just how pungent it is. It's the aroma for a lager bounces out with a glass. It's quite complex for a lager. It's not just one-dimensional sort of sweet, sort of lemony thing. It's a bit more than that, which I think is actually and the carbonation's not absolutely raging, so it doesn't just make you gassy. It is really good.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of them beers that if your glass is empty, you just want to go and get another bottle, kind of thing. It's just, or another pint from the bar. If you're in Germany, it's one of them beers that I could drink this all day. I really could.
Yeah, you could literally just buy it by the crate load and just have it in your house, and then just whenever you want it.
No, but seriously, it's one of them for a lager. For me, saying that, it's like,
it's lovely.
I could seriously do that. Barbecue beer.
Oh yeah.
Should at this point we get Peter's growler out quickly?
It's after 9 o'clock.
So unfortunately, this isn't the first time it's been opened because my younger brother is hosting a barbecue, and he wanted a taste of it. So I'm like, yeah, help yourself.
Do you like it?
Because he actually really quite enjoyed it. So it may well end up being demolished tonight. But let's get it open on camera.
So is it the Heller's Manderina?
Reassuring hiss.
Yeah, a very reassuring hiss. And obviously the glass is a little bit dirty because there was some in, but
providing sound effects for you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
I never would have noticed. I thought it was the bottle.
But yeah, I can't imagine too many people have had growler fills of this beer from Cloud.
I imagine they looked at you a bit funny.
No, because the first thing was I went in and said, "Oh, do you have any of the Heller's Manderina in a can form?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'll just go check for you." And she says, "Oh, sorry, we don't have any." So I was like, "Okay." While I'm here, oh, you've got T-shirts. So like, do you have any T-shirts in large? Even though it's a very tight large.
They are small.
They are.
If you want one, you can have my XL if you want it. My vintage one, but Stuart turned down. To their faces.
I'd happily take, because I love the design on the back. But
you can have a vintage one.
When she was doing that, I said what we could do is we could, because it was her who suggested the growler fill, and then I was like, sounds good to me. But it was taking absolutely ages for it to
must have done.
Yeah, 2 litres worth. Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, I'm putting this poor person through all of this for a lager, essentially.
For a lager.
But yeah, I mean, I wish I still had a can, so I could potentially compare if there'd be any sort of difference between like a fresh tap and then a can. But yeah, it looks
good to see you got a glass.
Perfect. Yes, this will not be getting smashed on the day of purchase.
Well, the night's young. That's
exactly. But smells very simple. Not too much for a hoppy lager. I mean, I can't imagine when you were smelling this next to the Augustiner that there'd be too much difference.
Well, we just picked up on the lack of pungency, a bit more subdued.
Yeah,
there is quite. I mean, I've still got both, but
yeah, me too.
I'm not picking up too much of a difference now, perhaps, because you know what I mean. But
it's still got that like really nice, just satisfying, like biscuity, bready sort of note to it. But I think I had this when we were actually at Cloudwater when we had the meet. So I think that was the same. It was a Manderina Bavaria that they did, and it wasn't a different variation.
Right.
I can't remember if it was, but I enjoyed it then. I enjoyed the can that I got recently, and I'll see what I think of this one now.
Did you untap it?
Chug.
That's lovely.
It is good.
To me, it's got a little bit more of a pronounced lemony character.
That's interesting.
Right.
Not like in a big, like, typical hoppy lemon citrus flavour.
That's cool that you've got one of the beers that we're doing and you got it fresh from the brewery the same day. That's quite cool.
Yeah. I think we might have done ourselves a bit doing it next to the Augustiner because I think it didn't hold up.
No.
Because of that.
Yeah, we didn't. Which in a way, it's nice.
We said it's a perfectly made beer. Nothing wrong with it, just a bit boring. Just
I mean, you could tell that the guys, they respect the style. Because I think Paul, one of his favourite beers is the T&Cs Pilsner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's amazing how this brewery, known for the really upfront hoppy beers, can make just a very simple back to basics sort of lager, which still has character.
I mean, the canning date on my can is the 12th of April of 2018. Not that it matters.
Same batch, yeah.
And then it's got, what's this FFB date in the middle?
Fresh. That's like your fresh best.
Fresh before.
Fresh before.
Right. Okay. And then a best before the end as well. 3 days. Wow. Okay.
That's their thing. That's what they do.
No, it's good. Yeah. It's good. It's just I've not seen.
They've got a cod, a fub, and a bee.
Cod. Oh, I like playing a bit of cod.
But yeah, I was actually. It was so packed when I went in there this afternoon.
Friday afternoon must be
very packed. I mean, track was open as well, but there weren't as many people in track, but there was absolutely loads of people in Cloudwater.
Well, I'd just nip down the road, go to track. What did you have in track? Did you?
I didn't actually go to track because I was like, I've had enough beers today. I need to reserve my money a bit because I did go a little bit crazy just buying stuff.
Yeah,
neckerchief.
Yeah, neckerchief. Bought a backpack because I was like, can't bother carrying the tote bag anymore. Bought some Tom Ford.
I done that when I was in London last Saturday. I went a bit silly, but had some good stuff. But yeah.
And plus, I knew that I'd be coming back, even though I thought I'd be back in time for Good Beer Live.
No.
But I was like, I'm going to be drinking anyway. But so I didn't go too crazy. To be honest, though, there wasn't actually in the place that I went anything really like exciting. There was really good stuff on tap. I mean, went to Port Street Beer House.
Yeah,
and the breweries OO with the slash.
Yeah, that's Denmark.
Yeah. And they had one of their 50/50 double IPAs, which was really, really nice. But aside from that, I was just like, I'll just try this. I'll try this.
I haven't seen a lot from them recently because there's something to do with Stig Baguettes as well.
It was the guy who was the original, was the head brewer at Stig Baguettes.
Yeah.
Which I asked the guy from Stig Baguettes how to pronounce it, and he said it, and I'm like, I can't remember. Or even there's like certain languages which, if you're of a certain region, maybe Yorkshire, you just can't get a fucking chance.
Forget.
Have some of that tool.
Only Polo.
I can pull off. I was asked in Barcelona if I was Danish. Actually, thank you very much. By a Dane. So put that in your fucking. Put that in your
Nordic
Danish related.
Smoke it.
Yeah, you fucking Nordic pipe and push it twice.
I just say tool. Tool.
Yeah,
you tool. No. I'm from Stig Baguettes.
Yeah.
Stig
Baguettes.
Baguettes.
But that's it, because I copied Peter, but that's a Dane trying to pronounce Swedish, and it's dramatically different.
It is different. There are certain words that you cannot pronounce. It's just, it's even worse. It's even worse when you Portuguese words. There's a thing. I don't know. It's to do with your tongue or we can't do it. We just can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. So
there is that in lots of languages, like Spanish, Japanese,
Spanish. It's just okay. It's that, and just move on.
I always can't pronounce Versvicek. I don't know if that's how you say it. That's how I say it.
It's like the first word is the German surname, but I'm sure Viacek, but whatever it is like a Czech name. Or
okay.
I think it is.
So it's two names.
I think it's the two names of the
owners. Yeah.
Right. So, we got any more comments or anything?
Yes, we've got a few. We've got a couple here. So we have Brian Roster So just tuned in. What's the Cloudwater Manderina Hells? Yes, that's exactly what it is. And then he follows up saying, aside, just had the Cloudwater Double IPA Citra on tap tonight. The best Cloudwater I've had in ages. Yeah, that was wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah, out of Hob City. That was excellent.
Is that the BBC thing?
It probably is. Yeah. That's been
that's well.
Yeah, but they had that on tap in Cloudwater, if I remember, and they had the small version as well, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking of Cloudwater, the collab track is wonderful. So if you see that, get back to the tap room and have that. Get back to tap room, Rod. And have the track collab. It was beautiful. And then Leak Codes, who was the person who first asked to comment, says it was going to be the last comment probably. So easy to get carried away in decent bottle shops.
Oh
yes.
It's not good.
That's why I didn't go 20 today.
Just don't tell your partner or anything. If you got a partner, it's otherwise you
say, no, I got sent these.
Yeah.
Craig sent me this box of beer.
Yeah, I got met up with so and so, and they said try this and that. Okay.
I just say Craig gave them to me.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, Craig's my fall guy as well.
Yeah,
no, that's absolutely fine. It's just the way it is.
Well,
but no, it's just
I don't have anyone to answer to now, so it's like I could buy as much beer as I like.
I know yeah. But no, it's
look at you there.
Oh yeah, it's just we'll always have beer.
I could afford this now, so
you can afford it, and that's what you chose to do.
And then you look back and you think, what?
Could not find a beret though.
All my disposable income will go to cravats.
Yeah,
I was literally looking for a beret, but I could not find any.
Trouble is with a beret, you might come off a bit Frank Spencerous.
Oh, Betty.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, Betty.
Oh, Betty.
That's green beret, isn't it?
Come on, Craig's got to do a good Frank Spencer.
Yeah, I
you can't do a good Frank Spencer.
I just
Jessica.
I just act normal, and then that's your impersonation, I guess. But no, I'm just trying to get my head around this double dry hopped Kolsch thing. It's one of them.
I'm sure they'll rebrew it, Peter. So if you see it,
really intriguing.
It's
an intriguing beer.
It's different, and I would say in this current climate of beer, it's hard to get a bit of differentiation every now and again.
Yeah,
but that double dry hop Kolsch is very different.
Yes.
Oh, it's out of the box and down.
I remember it like people who had it at Hop City. It was hazier. I don't know.
I mean, I haven't poured all of my can in yet because I'm going to do a little review later. But so I don't know if there's
I'll just put the rest of mine in, but like it's not that much hazier.
Not that much, but it's hazier. It's hazier than what I.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of things going on.
I remember it looking sort of a bit more sort of juicy, but
no.
I was very drunk.
So before we sign off, and as I said, we will all probably appear on a channel of your favourite UK beer tuber very soon after we finish this specific broadcast for frivolity and bad language and discussion of kind of our favourite online porn search engines, but. But before we get into that, I just want to, because we usually shit at this, but we do have the lineups for the next two.
I was going to go and get them, but yeah.
I've got them. That's why I turned my camera off for a minute.
I'm always going to get them because mine are downstairs.
And they're probably going to come in more of a quicker succession.
Yes, hopefully. And so it gives people the opportunity. If you're watching this live or if you're watching this after the fact, the next two shows that we'll be doing, they're probably the next one what we're going to be doing. And I think I'm quite liking a little bit of a theme, even if it's slightly vague. I like a bit of a theme, I think. And so the next one is table beers. So the lineup for that show will be Buxton's in Zwam, which is one of the new. And these are, as far as I'm aware, these are all still available on Honest Brew. And so that's their table beer. Just as we've just been kind of recording. North Brewing Co.'s Table Beer, which is a collab with Demo, and look at that can, beautiful.
Memorising.
Oh, love that can work. And then
where's the TV channel gone?
and then I'd say the one that popularised table
I'd say they were the ones who brought that to the forefront.
Yeah,
that's the Augustiner hell of
table.
UK table. I'd say of that like hoppy table beer sort of style, which I think is what we've gone for in
that's the first table beer I ever had.
Yes, me too, probably. Yeah, I think
that was built on the table, but
had that in the Brewdog barn. Well, one of them with the hop combinations, and it blew me away.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And in stark contrast to that, because I thought, well, we've got some low ABV beers. Why don't we go a little bit silly on the second?
We're going to be, by the end of the show, we will be wrecked.
We're going to need to make sure Saturday we don't have too much on. Lineup of beers.
So the plan for the second show is, because Honest Brew have got a fantastic range of Spanish beers, and I mean I went to Barcelona a couple of years ago and had some incredible kind of local craft beers from Spain. So the lineup for that, so we're going to be focusing on strong Spanish beers, and I think this is the weakest one of the lot, which is Hammerbost, which I think it might be a 5 Mountain review, which I did at a bottle share with Stuart and Adam, which is Napa beer and Lequans, and it's the Hammerbost Imperial IPA. That's 9%, and that's the weakest one of the night. Lagar, and that is the
sounds awesome.
What on earth is that called? Is it Gorilla Sanister? That's an Imperial. I think that's a coffee. Yeah, so I think that's a coffee Imperial Stout, and that one's 11.2%. Still not the strongest beer.
Can it get higher than that? Who knows? Let's see.
and the jewel in the crown, which is called Black Barley, which is once again a collaboration with Guen and Lequan. So the same collaborators with Napa Beer on the first one, and this is a black barley wine at 14%, aged in Oloroso barrels. So yes, so and that's 14%. So we've got a 9%, 11.2, and then a 14%. All probably drunk within about an hour and a half.
I'm probably going to buy a recapper.
Yeah, just for that show.
I'm not.
So therefore, you've
that's just him though.
So please do kind of get on Honest Brew. And buy these beers, drink along, and send us your comments, and importantly use the discount code GOODBEERLIVE when you check out, and you'll get £10 off all orders over £35 and free postage as well. So it's well worth doing. So big thanks to the two regulars, Craig and Jake, and our very, very special guest. Better late than never.
Yeah, I do. Blame Northern Rail.
I was going to blame Unhuman Cannonball, but whatever. Peter, the clueless drinker. Big thanks to everybody who's commented. Big thanks to everybody who's watched live and after the fact. We'll see you on the next one. And if you're watching live, we're going to appear somewhere on YouTube shortly. See you in a bit. Cheers.
See you guys later.
Cheers.
Ciao.
Cheers.